this is the compass, all right? This is the pencil. This is called the spike. And you lock it in place like this. And you don't want it to be too loose. So when you open it up and you close it like this, it should be stiff enough so that when you open it, it's going to stay at that spot. One side is inches and the other side is centimeters. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to practice. And this is basically the torque. You have to be able to do this. Watch. You see that? You have to basically be able to do this. You got to be able to spin it on your fingers. If you can't, then you got to practice until you can. All right? And so what you do is you set a spike, you set the spike down, and then you kind of angle the compass in the direction that your circle is going to be created. And the notebook piece of paper is really light, so it's kind of difficult to be able to go all the way around without moving the paper. You are cheating if you spin the paper and keep the compass in place. Okay? Do not spin the paper. You got to practice with the torque of your compass like this. Okay? And basically, the distance from the spike to the pencil is the radius. Yes?
So how come they open? Like, how do you get it to not open?
Okay, that's too loose. You need to bring it to me. A lot of people play with it and they go like this. I'll loosen this so I won't ruin the... I go, oh man, this is so cool. Don't do that. Okay, you're going to loosen it. Okay, remember, spike is the center of the circle. The pencil part is the part where you're going to actually create the circle. So you're holding it down, Mr. Hassel. You're holding it down. Okay, hold the paper down. And you're going to angle the compass in the direction that you're creating the circle. And you got to use the torque end with your fingers to do the turning. And then you can back it up and finish off your circle. Now the notebook piece of paper is very light, so it goes like this with it. So that's why I wanted you guys to use the printer paper, and we're going to use that in just a little bit. And I want you to spend a little bit of time just practice making circles. That's it. I'll give you a few minutes. It doesn't have to be like a bunch of circles within another circle. Just kind of make them smaller, larger. You want to play with the setting. Like this is, I'm going to do a 3-inch diameter. I'm sorry, a 3-inch radius. And so when I rotate it, it's actually going to be 6 inches all the way across in a diameter. Because remember, what you set is the radius. Just like that. Okay?
Sir, I'm not doing this right. Mine keeps overlapping.
You just try. You have to practice with the compass because it's not just going to come to you. You have to find your own technique. But basically, the technique that you have to use is to be able to rotate it on your fingers like this. Angle the compass in the direction that you are creating your circle, and it'll make it a whole lot easier. You've got to be able to do this.
How do I make a lightning bolt?
So I
Okay.
can't rotate it that much. I mean, no, I got one good circle. But I can't
You got one good circle? It just takes practice. And remember, this is a notebook piece of paper. So so your best practice is going to be coming right now with the printer paper.
See, mine keeps doing it.
Yeah, it has a little bit of an overlap. But that only comes with practice. What you have to do, Jules, is you have to hold a piece of paper as you're going around in different spots. Like you'll hold it, start up here, and then hold it in another spot as you're coming across.
Bro, they're it's made, but
Okay? Just like that. Remember that the center of the circle, pay attention please. The center of the circle coming out like this is the radius. And this is basically the setting of the spike to the end of the pencil, right here. Just like that.
spin the paper.
No, that's cheating. You're not using it correctly. Okay, people who have maps and you're trying to use this, the map is so big you're going to spin the map. Doesn't make sense. So you need to have a technique to be able to use the compass without having to spin the paper. You need to develop a system. Okay, your fingers are gonna be different. Your the pressure on the paper is gonna be different.
Oh, sir.
That's good. Okay, I'll let you practice some more at the end of the period. Let's get going. All right, so let's move the notebook piece of paper out of the way. And I want this piece of paper to be showing. All right. So do not use the pencil on the compass. All right. I need them for the rest of the day, and I need them to be sharp. So we're only going to use the compass pencils to create circles or arcs or whatever. So you need to have your own pencil or pen, and you're going to put compass activity. Yeah. On the notebook, on the printer sheet of paper. Mr. Albert Alvarez. That's going to be your name. Should go there, not mine. October. Yes, Jules Valdez needs to go up at the top. 17. Unless you're married. Then you're a miss. Pre-AP. Geometry. Okay? Your name should go here. The date should go there. And pre-AP geometry go here. All right. In this first part, we're going to do something called constructing congruent line segments. Okay, so the title for activity number 1 is construct congruent line segments. Okay, that's the title. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to use the edge of your book. And the reason why is because I don't want you to use something that has measurements on there, so that you basically don't measure off something that's going to be a distance that you already know. So I want you to draw a point here, and I want you to name the point a letter. So someone give me a letter.
C. A.
That's all I hear is A.
Thank you.
Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to use the edge of your book, and that's one of the reasons why you have the book there. I'm actually taking the activity from the book, but I want you to use the edge of the book to create a line segment. And everybody's line segment is going to be different. It's up to you. Okay? Now, this line segment was created by the edge of my book. And I'm going to give it another letter. Someone give me another letter.
C.
No, cheese.
I heard P. Cheese is a letter, everybody. It's very important to him. Okay, so we have a distance from there to there. We have no idea what this distance is. But what we're going to do to create this a congruent line segment, we're going to call them primes. Since this is A, I'm going to draw another point over here, and I'm going to call this A prime, because it's based on the original one. This is A, and this is A prime. And we need to know the distance from A to P, but we'll measure that in a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to use our compass to be able to figure out the distance without even using a ruler or a protractor. All right, so here is the part of the activity that concerns the compass. Remember that this is inches in blue, and this part that doesn't have anything really special on it is in centimeters. It's the metric side, but we really don't even need that. What you're going to do is you're going to use the spike and put it on A. The spike goes on A, right in the middle of that point A. And you're going to open the compass up to the same distance as from A to P. Okay? You see that? Now it's set, right? Okay? It's the distance from A to P without us measuring it. Once it's been opened up, I need for you to take it off A to P, and I need for you to put it on A prime and make a little mark right there. Okay? Now, this right here, this little mark that you created, right in the middle of the mark, put a point. And we're going to call this one
J.
P prime.
Oh.
Remember, it's based on the original, right? So this is A, this is A prime, this is P prime. Now use a straight edge, and I want you to use your book again.
Everybody thinks that you get jabbed with the compass.
I hope not. Okay, what we have done now is we have created congruent line segments. And we're going to use, let's see, I'm hoping that it's the same, that I kept it within 4 inches, and I sure did. And without even trying, I have a 3.75 inch line. This is 3.75 inches, because it's 3 inches and 3/4. I don't know what yours is, but hopefully it's within 4 inches. It's not too long. If you need a longer measuring tool, you're going to need a ruler to figure out how long that line is. But I kept mine within 4 inches, and I know the distance right there. So what should the other one be? Also 3.75. So we're going to move the protractor down here, and what do I have? Lo and behold, it is 3.75 inches.
So what would it be if it's like literally exact length of this?
It's 4 inches.
Whoa, they
Okay, so the distance of AP is 3.75 inches, and the distance of A prime to P prime is equal to 3.75 inches. So what can I say about the two segments? They are congruent. So AP is congruent to A prime P prime. And that was what I was trying to do.
Okay.
So what did we create? What did we construct? Congruent line segments.
I wish they would have taught us that.
Remember, these are skills. We're learning skills right now. I need for you to be at least introduced to a compass today, but I also want you to be proficient. You know what proficient means, right? No, you can do it. You can actually use it. You'll have skills to be able to use this later on. You'll be able to get it done. Okay, activity number 2. Now, activity number 2 is going to have us construct or constructing congruent. That's the congruent symbol, by the way. It's an equals with a little squiggly line on top. Constructing congruent angles. Okay, for 6th period, I want us to have a measurement of 71 degrees. So let's use our protractor and create a 71 degree angle. Do you remember how to make angles? No? Okay, I'll remind you. First of all, we need an initial side. Okay, an initial side is a point. It's basically going to be the vertex. So since it's going to be the vertex, let's call it V. And we're going to create an initial side. So you start at V, and you create a line going this way. How long? Don't go past the protractor. This is called the initial side, and this is point V. Okay? Since that's the vertex, I want you to look at the protractor. This sort of looks like crosshairs in a gun, or if you're looking at a scope or a telescope. It's got a little crosshair right here, right? That crosshair is going to go right on top of V. Or a target. If you go to target, there's a little point right in the middle of the target. That's what we're aiming for. And then you line up the line with 0 over here, starting over here on the protractor. And we're going to measure off what degrees again?
75.
Which one is it? 71 degrees. So count off by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 1. And 71 is right there. So I'm going to put a little marker right there. That's at 71 degrees. I'm going to move my protractor out of the way, and I'm going to put the pencil right at V. Put the pencil right at V. And I'm going to slowly put my protractor right up against my pencil where it's marked off at V. And I'm going to line it up with the mark that I have at 71 degrees. And I'm going to draw a line like this, with an arrow at the end of it. Okay, make sure that it's 71 degrees by putting it back. The vertex is right here on the crosshairs, and you line up this line right here with 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 1. Look at that. Perfect. So, what is this angle again? 71 degrees, and they usually put it right there, right where the angle is at. Now, using the compass, we're going to recreate 71 degrees without a protractor. We have an original 71 degrees right here. So without the protractor, we're going to be able to recreate this. And we'll need the edge of the book again, because I want you to realize that we're not using the protractor until the very end to make sure that it's 71 degrees. Okay? So, first things first. We're gonna take our compass, okay, and the spike is going to go on V. And so what you need to do after you set the spike on V is you need to resize it, and your resize has to be a little bit less than the arrow that you have over here on both of them. Is your measurement less than the arrows?
Yes.
Yes, on both, right? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to create what is called an arc. It is not a full circle, but it's just part of a circle. Okay? All right? So we need to cross both lines of the angle, and this is the way you do it. Using your technique right now, okay? That's why you can't spin it off the paper. You got to be able to do this. All right? So set the spike at V. And you're going to create an arc that crosses both lines, just like this. Very slowly, you don't have to go too fast, until it crosses both of them. And keep on going over it, so you know it's the right arc. Okay? Do not change the size of the arc. And put your compass down. Now what you're going to do is you're going to create another V. But this isn't the original V, is it?
No.
This is going to be V2, or what they call V prime. And since we're going to make the angle going this way, right? You don't want to cross that other angle. So I need for you, I made a mistake here. So I erased this one because it's right underneath V. I moved it over to the left, and I'm going to call this V prime. That's going to be our new vertex. Okay, and I need a line going this way that's gonna resemble this one right here. So this is V prime, and I need a line to go this way, and we're going to use our book, the edge of our book, to create that line. Doesn't have to be too long, but at least the same distance as this one or more. That's our initial side for V prime. Now what you're going to do is take your compass, pick it up again, and put that spike on V prime. Remember, it's still the same distance, still the same setting for this arc, but we're going to put that same arc over here on V prime. So it's set at V prime. Create an arc like this.
We're not doing the other line yet?
Not yet. Okay? Remember, the original V has a setting for this arc. And then we took that same setting, we went to V prime to create the new arc. This is like super important. It's got to stay the same. Same setting. Is it a full circle? No, it's just an arc. Okay. Now I want you to look at the compass. Okay? This compass is a certain distance from the point, from the spike to the pencil. Put it down. Don't mess with it. Look at the original angle. It's got a crisscross right there, and it's got a crisscross right there. And these points right here are brand new. Let's give them some names.
J.
This one will be J up here.
L. C.
K.
And this will, I don't like L, using L.
K.
We can use M. Okay, so the measure of angle MVJ is equal to 71 degrees. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make the measure of angle V prime, oh sorry, my bad. This should be M prime, V prime, and J prime to be 71 degrees as well. Okay, so our compass right now is set for the distance from V to the arc. What we're going to do now is use the compass to measure from M to J. So we're going to have to either open it or close the compass to be able to get it. Very few times you won't have to change the setting. I would say the majority of the time you'd have to change the setting. It's almost luck if this distance from there to there is the same distance from there to there. So let's try it out. I'm going to put the spike on M, and notice it's too short. So what do I have to do? Open it up. So I'm going to open it up for it to be the same distance to J. I'm going to have to close it like this. There we go. So it's got to be the distance from M to J. Without changing the size of the compass, without opening or closing it, you take the compass and you go to this intersection. Put the spike right there. And you'll notice that I can also do a crisscross on this arc. Okay? Where did I get this distance? From M to J. Then you come over here and you set it right here on this crisscross. On this X marks the spot. And you set it like that. Do you see where they crisscrossed? I'm going to set a point right there. I'm also going to set a point over here. What is this going to be called? Well, this one was M, so this should be M prime. This one was J, so what should this one be? J prime. Now what you're going to do is use your book again, line up V, put your pencil on V, and use your book. And the reason why I'm doing this is not because I just want to use the book for it, but I want to show you that we haven't used the protractor since the beginning. All we've done was done measurements using the compass. I have just recreated the angle. The original one was 71 degrees, so we're going to check this one to make sure that this one's also 71 degrees. How do I do that? Well, now you can use the protractor. We're only going to verify the angle with the protractor. So I'm going to put it on V. I'm going to line it up with this line right here. And look at that. I'm at 71 degrees. So my M prime, V prime, J prime angle is also 71 degrees.
Sir, I'm at 70.
You're a little bit off, which is okay.
Wait, where do I go?
Oh, wait.
So my angle is 78 degrees. I messed up somewhere.
You might have opened it or closed it in the wrong spot.
Right on.
People who have done like stuff with their hands-on stuff a lot, I'm not talking about calculator stuff, I'm talking about hands-on, will probably get this very quickly. Others, you just need a little bit more practice. Okay, I got one more thing to show you, and then we're done, and then I want you to practice creating circles some more. Okay, this next one is called constructing perpendicular bisectors. So I'm going to flip the page over now.
We have space on the front.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have space on the front, go for it.
So is it activity 3?
Okay, this is activity 3. And activity 3 is called constructing perpendicular bisectors. Okay, bisector means half. So we're going to cut a line segment in half. Constructing perpendicular bisectors. We're basically going to draw a segment, and then we're going to cut it in half. And not only that, we're going to create 4 90-degree angles because it's going to be perpendicular. So that means this has to be right angle intersections. That's what you're going to create. Constructing perpendicular bisectors means you're going to cut it in half, and not only that, but you're going to create right angle intersections. So let's be really exact with this. We're going to create a 4-inch line. 4-inch line. How do you do that? Well, let's start off with a point. We need a point to begin with. Okay? Use your protractor. If you have the small protractors, this is basically 4 inches all the way across. So you set this one at 0, and you go all the way across over here till you get to 4. So how long is this? What would half be? 2 inches. Okay? We're going to find it by using the compass. You don't have to measure the 2 inches. We're going to find it. No doubt about it. Okay? So, we need our compass. All right? So, our first step, put the spike on one of the points. Oh, before we do that, let's name the points.
J. JK.
No, not J. You use J.
I don't care.
JK. Okay? Now, más o menos, with your finger, I want you to try and find the middle. About right there, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Put the spike on J, and I want you to open up the compass just a little bit past where you think the half is going to be. Did you do it?
Past where we think that?
Where you think half is going to be, a little bit past it. Okay. We're going to create an arc that starts at the very top, and it's sort of like a half circle. Just like this.
Mine's off the paper.
All the way around like that?
Just like that.
Yo.
You may have to draw that line lower. Draw the line lower than that.
Wait.
If it's too high, you won't have enough space up at the top to create it. So this is past the half. That's all you need to do. Okay. Without changing the size of the compass, you're going to pick it up and you're going to put it on letter K. And you're going to do the same thing.
Wait, sir, mine's perfect.
Now look at that. You see a crisscross of the arcs, right?
Mine barely crisscrosses. That's fine.
As long as it crisscrosses, you got it. Now put your compass down.
No, I messed up. No.
And I want you to mark a point right there and a point right there where they intersect. Now use your compass, sorry, not your compass, your protractor as a straight edge
wishing you were named Charles.
I can't do this. This thing is too loose. It keeps moving.
Come up here and I'll give you another one.
So this is gonna make me mad because I cannot draw the line.
What we have just done is we found half of the line segment of JK, and we've created a 90-degree angle intersection.
Shoot.
So you can measure it.
Whoa.
Is this 2 inches? Absolutely. Look at that, 2 inches. So this is 2 inches. This is 2 inches. And together it's 4 inches.
Oh my god.
But by using the compass, you're able to find half of it. And because of the arcs as they crisscross, you have intersections so that when you draw it, you make a perpendicular bisector.
Like that?
Did you measure this?
Yeah, it's 2 inches.
You got it?